tonight. So thanks, Joe. You want to come and talk about the space?
Fantastic. Welcome, guys. This is very exciting for me because part of the mission for GeniusDen is to provide professional development and service, especially if you guys, anyone knows a great service organization that is looking for space that has anything to do with interrupting cycles of poverty. Any kind of outreach kind of program. So talk to me, let me know. On off events, on nights, Tuesday night's kind of a quiet night. We're happy to entertain the idea that this is a good space to bring people together. So the other part is our mission is professional development. We do that with people that come here and pay us to share a table, a permanent table, or a office. If you know somebody that has a company that wants to have their space beyond a executive suites, this is a place that's more of a community with advisors, with it's the first time I've done this, so I'm putting all this together. With advisors, with a bunch of benefits like SoftLayer and Microsoft and different kinds of benefits. And then just great community, great events, great speakers that come in. So that's what the GeniusDen's about. And we're part of the startup ecosystem in Dallas, so we're also, you'll see us plugged in other different kinds of events. So we've got Jason Treu coming tonight. Shall we? I don't have an introduction for you. I should be reading your introduction. Jason's a buddy. He's super connected here in Dallas. In case you haven't been reading the introductions and previews, he's a best-selling author. He's personally very well connected. I think you said you personally made more than 1 million connections in your life. 2 best-selling books on Amazon. Go ahead, that right? And he's going to give you a quick, we're going to download here 15, 20 minutes on the outside, 15 minutes. Takeaways, what we're going to learn tonight. Well, I'll leave that to you to explain. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. That's wonderful. Jason Treu.
Welcome. Thanks for coming out tonight. I have a little box I have to be in. I'm kind of a walker around, so I have to kind of keep myself in this. So I'll try to be good and keep inside of it. If people in the back can't hear me at all, just make sure you raise your hand. So tonight before I came out, I was talking to my mom. My mom works in a hospital with doctors. And I told her I was speaking on, and she said, oh, today I was talking to a bunch of doctors and I was telling them what you do. And I'm like to myself, this is pretty scary. And I was stuttering on the phone. And she said to me, you help business people ring the register, kick butt, and figure out what they want to do in life. And then she said to the doctors, well, you're a lawyer, so they better be nice to you, otherwise you're going to sue them. And so I thought that was rather amusing at the time. So one of the things people want to find out all the time about is how to answer the question, what is it that you do? Because most times you answer it, it's a very boring answer. It's mundane, and frankly, it puts people to sleep. And it's a conversation killer, and frankly, it's a relationship killer. And so I want to talk today about that, and also at the end, we're going to go and we're going to practice this. So you're actually going to get to talk to other people and give your elevator pitch. So one of the reasons why this is a big challenge is when you're talking to people about what it is that you're going to do, you initially, that question, if you ask in the beginning, is sizing people up. It's a comparison question, so people get really uncomfortable with it. And oftentimes what you'll see is their body language, and they're actually moving backward because they're trying to protect themselves, and people will actually put their arms, cross their arms, and do that. So that's never a good way to start a conversation. And secondly, they've had this conversation so many times, probably thousands of times, that they'll tune you out and they won't be present. They'll be thinking about, what do I have to do tomorrow? What pressing things do I have in my life? So I want to talk about how you can think about a relationship structure and a successful way of thinking about it. And first, it's about building rapport with people, because you have to find common ground with people. Second, it's likability. People spend time with people they like. They do business with people that they like. And third is the glue and fabric that keeps our society together, and that's trust. If you don't have trust with someone, you literally have nothing. And if you can do that when you first meet someone, then you'll create intrigue, and after that, you'll get people to want to actually follow up with you. And the way that I like to think about it as an equation is, number one is connection. You have to connect with someone, and that's very similar to having rapport. And number two, you have to care. And it's really important to be caring about other people, and you can do that in an authentic way, even if you first meet someone. And the third thing is adding value, and that's probably the secret sauce that'll move relationships farther ahead and accelerate them more than anything else. Because if you think about it, the people in your life that you don't have a scorecard with are people in your inner circle. They're your parents, they're a spouse, they're your best friends. And when you can make deposits in the relationship bank account before you make withdrawals, you're going to find out some pretty magical things that happen. And so one of the things I like to ask people pretty early on, which I've never been asked to, and I've asked a lot of people, is what are you passionate about? What projects are you working on that you're really passionate and excited about? Because you have to understand what is driving people. And asking that question is the best question, because you'll also find out personally what they're excited about as well, which is another great way to start building rapport with them. So now I want to talk about the 4 keys in figuring out how to tell someone what is it that you do. And I want to read you a quote from Maya Angelou, and it's, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. No one's ever going to remember the microscopic details of what you tell them and what you do. But they're going to remember how you made them felt. Because we're all run by emotions. We do everything for them. We do everything for a feeling. I mean, you hang around certain people because they elicit a feeling from you. You go to work because there's another feeling that you're eliciting at that point. And secondly, when you talk about what it is you do, you want to talk about the end benefit. You want to paint a picture for people that they can actually see what you're doing. If someone asks you, what do you do? And if you say, I'm an accountant, it doesn't leave a lot of room for follow-up, and that's not really that exciting. It doesn't tell anyone really what is it you do. So they immediately think boring, write you off. But if you're a project manager, you can say, you know, I make people's lives easier on my team. Or you could say, I'm the glue that keeps people on our team together so they can get results and keep clients happy. And the third thing I want to talk about is audience, because this is pretty critical too, and people don't think about this. You have to have different elevator speeches for different audiences, right? Because if you talk about someone in your industry, they're going to get what you're talking about. But if you talk to a friend, they might not have the technical aspect of understanding what all is going on. And if you talk to your grandmother, she clearly won't know everything you're talking about at that point. So you have, and those are the 3 audiences I think about: industry, friends, and then my grandmother. And the 4th thing is really connecting and resonating with people. I think that's really a critical part, because you have to find out what people care about. And the way you do that is by asking questions. And when you first meet someone, the best thing to do is start asking a series of questions. And what are you passionate about is one of the first ones you should, because you'll get more information and connect back with them. So for instance, if someone were a lawyer, I might say to them, well, just like you need to influence a judge, when I'm in a boardroom making a presentation, I have to influence the board of directors to buy into my plan. And when you do something like that, you show someone that you're an active listener, you've heard what they said, and you've repeated it back, and that makes a very strong connection. And again, it gets people to like you more, and it builds more rapport, and that leads on to more trust. So when you're thinking about what do you do, I wanted to give you kind of a fill-in-the-blank process. So I wrote something down last night, and I was thinking about it to myself. And I'll give you an example from an event planner. I'm an event planner, and you'd say that, so I'm a, and whatever it is that you do for a living. And then next, you want to say what it is that you actually do for someone. In this instance, I said, coordinate our annual healthcare conference for 5,000 people. And after that, you want to get a little creative on what it is that you do for people. And so I wrote in here, create the party of the year where hardworking employees kick up their heels and get a little crazy. And if you say that to someone just like that, they're going to really be like, oh wow, how do you do that? Or what do you all do at this party? I don't really want to go to that one, right? And then you're going to have, that's a conversation starter, and people get intrigued, their emotions get a little higher, they're actually paying attention to you even if they weren't. So it's something that you should do and actively think about what little funny thing. And sometimes you can't be funny. There's certain settings, but a lot of times you really can, and people will enjoy it, and it'll break the ice. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And we're going to break out in groups, and I'll let you talk about kind of the group process, and then you're going to practice with someone and tell someone what it is that you do, and come up with something unique, and you'll have people in your group that will help give you tips, advice, and help.
So Jason, quickly, what is it, 3 points we want to do again?
Yep, so you want to say, I'm a whatever it is that you do. Then second, you want to tell people what it is that you actually do in your job. And then third, you want to say something interesting about your job that you can do in a more funny, quaint way that will elicit some emotional connection with someone else. And you can use words like, but really I do, basically it's all about, or which is a fancy way of saying. And that's like another couple things you can use. You can have any lead in you want, but it works really well. So,
Awesome. So what we're going to do is you're going to turn to the person next to you. Let me get to my spot. Yes. So you're going to turn to the person next to you, and you're going to each give your 30-second speech. So I'm gonna have 30 seconds on my phone, and you have 30 seconds. What?
anti-clockwise.
It doesn't really matter. Go left. But even one person has to go right. So it doesn't. So just pick a partner, because you're gonna switch after. All right. You got it? All right.
I'm a director of communications, so I do a lot of digital media. I post cat memes on Facebook, and then sometimes I actually do real work, so it kind of rotates between. Yeah.
Wow, very nice to meet you.
Writing equations for commodities markets, and I specialize in technical analysis, and I do a little music on the side.
I would not know.
I'm not going to go 30 seconds. There's a lot of stuff.
When you go into the technical...
Whose turn is it?
We already finished. We're just like...
To your right now. Why?
How's it going, man? Hi, I'm Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
What is it that you do?
I'm sorry? an accounting software. And so what I do is customize that software to work the way their business wants to work. Because if you use it out of box, their business is not going to run that way. And so I sit in, look, see how their business works, and customize it and retrofit it to the way that it works. Go. Well, now they're talking.
Fantastic.
All right, great. So we're going to do a little shuffling now. So what I want to happen is this table right here in the middle. If you're on this side, I want you to go to this table. If you're on this side, I want you to go to that table. And then the end tables that you're switching with. So these folks, switch.
Solutions that makes a construction project go faster. How about you? What do you do?
I'm a web developer.
Trying to find somebody I don't know really well.
You know, dressing up or desk holders.
What company is your work with?
A company called Awesome Capital. It's a hedge fund downtown. They deal with corporate retirement plans, which is I know more about corporate retirement plans than I ever wanted to.
You found your calling.
Yeah. So, finance major.
I'm a finance major, but I'm actually a liability claims representative for Enterprise, so I handle third-party liability. If you don't take our coverages, I'm the one you deal with if you don't have insurance.
Do you like it?
I do. It's different. Dealing with car accidents every day makes you not want to drive your car ever. Like, I'm very scared on the road now. I can see a car accident happen before it's going to happen now. So, I do, but I eventually want to go into something a little more different. Hi, I'm Dr. I'm a chiropractor, and I enrich people's lives with a non-surgical way of improving health and wellness.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Carly. My name is Sarah Crilly. I work in public relations. I love my job. I make people famous by getting them on TV, print, radio, or television.
Jason.
Nice to meet you, man. I am a real estate developer. I'm a private lender. I'm the founder of GeniusDen. This is my biggest passion. So for GeniusDen, what GeniusDen does is create a space for startup founders to come together and build community, to find resources, and to meet strategic alliances, strategic connections. So advisors and subject matter experts that come in and speak and bring the entrepreneur to the next level. A good way to describe it is something that it's not. So what it's not is some big, amazing superstar entrepreneur coming in to a chicken dinner and telling you how he worked hard and got lucky. Therefore, what it is a guy that's just a step ahead of you that comes in and tells you how he did a specific thing that got him to the next level, that helped him break through a barrier that he had, that helped him take a skill and make that skill a little better, take him up to the next step. So what it is a place where one can come and meet somebody else, another player on the field, as it were, who's good at this one thing and figured out how to solve this little problem that, again, brings him up to the next level. So it's a community.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So what I do is bring all that together.
Yeah, you do it.
Yep. So it's a playground for entrepreneurs to make mistakes and share what they've done to bring it up to the next level.
You're helping people acquire best practices and apply them.
That's a great way to
especially when
say it.
they don't have the resources necessary
the palette. All right.
There we go. What do you do, Jason?
I'm a business coach and relationship expert, and I help people influence authentically, get known, and stand out to create a life that they're passionate about. And I work with executives, experts, and entrepreneurs.
So what's your credibility? Have you done something like a famous public speaking, or do you have like high-level executives that you talk to? Do you have books that you publish? Like, why would I hire you, and why are you important?
Yep. I published a book,
Where'd you come from?
Social Wealth, and in September it sold 30,000 copies, and it's the top 10 in 5 business categories. And so my background is I've worked with a lot of high-ranking CEOs. I've worked with Steve Jobs, Mark Hurd at Apple, and I was on the acquisition team when Mark Cuban sold his company. So when I've done that, I work with a lot of significant executives here and elsewhere as well.
So did you like drop out of high school, or do you have like some PhD in something? Or
I have a Juris Doctorate law degree, and then I have a master's in communications. So I use that to help people in branding as well. So.
do you have many leather-bound books? And does your apartment smell of rich mahogany?
It smells amazing.
Are you kind of a big deal?
I'm kind of a big deal, and so is my Jack Russell Terrier. That's why his name's Napoleon.
Everybody can get back to your seats.
All back this way, guys.
Or back to the seat.
There it is. Wow.
That's a big dog.
That's a big gong. You go first.
All right, so we can give a little example here on what you're going to do, just so you maybe get a little bit more direction on it. Part of this depends on how much time you have with someone. If you have a really finite amount of time and you're trying to go really quickly, you've just got to stick to some really high-level stuff. And you can delve into details more depending on your audience or what someone wants to hear. So if someone were to ask me that question, again, it depends on the audience I have and who it is, and especially for my business, because I have sort of moving audiences depending on who it is. But typically what I'd say to someone is, hi, I'm Jason Treu. I'm a business coach and relationship expert. I help people authentically influence, stand out, and get known to create the life that they love. And I'd say on top of it, if I had more time on that, I'd say, I work with entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. And if I had even more time than that, I'd say I published a book in September. Got a question?
Sorry, just a tiny bit louder as we got the air conditioner on the bed.
Okay.
Can't hear much past this pole. Well, then people should come up. Air conditioner's loud. Okay, well then everybody come on up and stand.
Come on up.
Please. That'd be great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We gotta work with what we got.
Yes.
It's turning off.
So, did anybody find that the first time that they did their 30-second talk was a little rough, but that each and every time they did it, it got a little better? Yes. So, who found that they met some cool people? Yeah? Kind of. We won't name names. Awesome. So, any questions? No? Yes?
I have a question. Okay, so I was wondering advice for people who are transitioning, who are in one field or one profession and are trying to transition to something else. How does that change your 30-second pitch?
You can just tell people that's what you actually are doing. Right? And I think one of the things is when you start leading in a conversation with what are you passionate about, if you can try to help someone right away in a conversation, leading after that, and we didn't really talk about that as kind of the next networking down, is asking people, who do you think, do you have anyone that I should talk to? or events or places I should go, and you can ask people advice as you move forward as well in the conversation. But you need to add value first, because then people will actually go out of their way to help you. And many times you really can't, because a lot of times if people are passionate about what they need help on, you can, and even if you can't, you can look and follow up the next day and say, look, I tried. And people appreciate that, because honestly, that rarely happens. I mean, if you look in sales, most people lose deals because they don't follow up enough. And if you look at farther on, it's because they don't follow in the sales cycle along. And when it comes to following up the networking, it's absolutely horrendous. I had an executive that went to the TED conference, and we worked on this whole plan for an entire month, and he's walked away. He is emailing Bill Gates, and he actually responded back to him, although it was short. And we're talking to Tim Cook, and Tim Cook might fly to the Alabama-Auburn game and meet my client, which, I mean, what's that worth, right? Well, but he led the conversation with that, and he figured out that, and he talked about that in the conversation, and he did some research on it. Sometimes you can do research as well on it, so you can lead it, but you need to follow up. And what did he do? Followed up with all the people he met at TED, and most of the people actually emailed back, and he's got ongoing conversation and a Rolodex of 30 people who are doing amazing things, because he's actually just followed up. And believe it or not, that's probably something people never do, even in networking, people that they actually need in their network. So, beautiful. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question too. So you kind of alluded to it earlier. You're saying, you never want to say, hey, what do you do for a living? So we always get asked that, in our young professional lives, we're out, we meet someone, hey, what do you do? How would you respond to that to kind of deflect and open it up to kind of be more approachable and really, get that trust and add value? What are some good ideas if you don't want to just say, hey, I'm a, fix a flat guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think if you start to steer the conversation to people go out to escape their lives. They don't go to talk about what they did at work. So that's the primary thing. Second, they go out to meet other people, whether it's socially or in a romantic fashion. So that's the only reason people go out. And then if they go to like a charity event or a business networking, obviously, but that's a distant part of it. So if you keep that in your back of your mind, that's how you should phrase the conversation. Ask people, what did you do for the weekend? What's on your agenda for this week? And ask them questions. So what vacations have you got planned up? Or what fun things do you enjoy doing in the city? And talk about that stuff. And what are you passionate about in your life? And you get those answers out. It's much easier, because then when you actually ask a question about what is it you do, people actually think you care, because otherwise you wouldn't have asked the other questions about that and elicit it in that fashion. It's just when you ask on the front side, it's like if someone's asked you the same question 1,000 times and you're really busy, your mind goes and you're not present. And I see this happening all the time. You can watch people's eyes dart around. It's the easiest thing to do, even if next time you ask someone that question or look, their eyes are darting all around. They don't even care to answer the question because they're so sick of answering it. And I think when I talked to you, you had a great question about you're a matchmaker, right? And I think that's an awesome answer, right? That's a creative answer for someone and actually would get their attention, because if you're a real estate agent and said, hey, well, I sell real estate, they know people or met them, but if you say, I'm a matchmaker between, setting up people, that's awesome. That actually would stop someone and ask another question, because they think, wow, this guy must either be good at what he does, he's really creative, and I need to get him in my network because I want to buy or sell a house. He's the guy I want to go after.
Thank you, Jason, that's perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been so helpful. So let's say I've got my elevator pitch down and the person that I'm networking with is truly engaged and it's going well. At what point of the conversation should I be giving them my business card?
I think you can, after you ask them a question and try to add value, I think that's the time you exchange it, because then people know that you're a giver and not a taker, and that's the best time, because then people are more receptive at that point to doing it.
It's not something that I sneak in the end, nice meeting you, here's my business card, or do I
It depends on the time. Yeah, I'd love to reach out and connect with you and stay in contact, and and if they've asked, and if you know something you need help on, because if you ask them a question, what are you passionate about now? What? And then they'll tell you and saying, so do you need help on this? And if you get an answer, I need help on X, Y, and Z, well then the follow-up's easy, because you're saying, hey, can I get we'll exchange business cards because I'll follow up with you on that, whatever it is.
So it's better to exchange the cards than just give them your card?
I always think it is. Okay. But sometimes if someone doesn't have it, you just have to kind of go with the flow. But if you can try to help them, and you'll tell them that you will, people will always want to give you their card or their contact information because they need help. Everyone needs help, and if you're going to help them, well, they're clearly going to want to give you the information because that's a rarity when you go out. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. So.
Perfect.
Any other questions? All right, let's get a big round of applause. Thank you so much. So, thank you guys for attending this event. Y'all liked it? Yes? Awesome. So the great thing about the Dallas Junior Chamber is that we are young professionals who want to make our connections, maybe find another job, give back to the community, and that is, you know, the greatest thing that the Dallas Junior Chamber can do for you is give you the social, the professional development, and the philanthropic events that you can grow with us. And networking is not about who you know, but who knows you. And so hopefully you can kind of take this knowledge that Jason gave us and kind of think, okay, next time somebody asks what you do, whether it's at a bar or at your work, you can be a little creative, and because you never know who you're going to find and who you're going to meet. So can I have all of our chamber board members either stand up or raise your hand? Awesome. So these people can answer questions about what the chamber does. We have a happy hour next month. We have a philanthropy event May 15th. If you have questions or interested, talk to Mandy. And I would just thank everybody for coming. If you want more information on membership, Robin, stand up. I know. Stand up. No, Robin, stand up. She can answer all your questions. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to GeniusDen for hosting us. And thanks for coming. Have a great night.